Dragonova. You're watching this through your eyeballs, and as you can probably tell, because of the title of the video, I am going to talk a little bit about classic servers that Blizzard are going to be making. Uh, well, they've talked about making. We don't know if we don't know when they're coming, but and I don't know if this video is too late in terms of when it should have been out, because probably nobody cares anymore, but I just thought I wanted to put my opinions out there, and maybe I have some kind of perspective that somebody else wouldn't have thought of. So, well, here we go. I should probably preface this video by talking a little bit about my personal experience with vanilla back in the day. I never played it a whole lot. Most of what I remember is that I had a friend who played it, and I leached off of his account. But after a while, we then figured out that, well, we can't play with each other on the same account. We found out about that when I was trying to play it at a PC cafe, and he was trying to play it at home because we lived at this kind of like foster home thingy. But on the weekends we were home with our actual parents. Long story, don't want to get into that now. Maybe some other day in another rant video, because I'll probably make other rant videos. That is kind of my plan. But and I kept getting locked out. And then when we got back on Monday, he was talking about how he also kept getting locked out. So we pretty quickly put two and two together and figured, yeah, that's probably because we can't be online on the same account at the same time. So we couldn't do that anymore, which was a bit meh, but that's how it is. Oh shit, I forgot to go and get Perry. Oh, gotta go back. Okay, but yeah, I just wanted to put out my opinions as to what I personally feel Blizzard should do with their classic servers. So, first of all, I think they should, for the most part, keep it like it was. Like, don't change too much. The only things I really want them to fix is, like, game-breaking bugs. But I think most of those, they're naturally fixed just by the fact that, well, from what I have heard at least, most of the bugs back then were due to bad design of their servers. Because, you know, it was older technology, and online gaming was still not really that great. I mean, they had been doing pretty well with Battle.net, Warcraft 2 and 3, but it was still a bit dodgy, and especially on this scale, because nobody expected it to blow up like it did. So the servers, they were just fucked. So that didn't go too well for them. But yeah, just fix the biggest bugs. Like, don't fix like small bugs that don't really do a whole lot that are like remembered fondly by the community. Try to keep those in, maybe. Unless I guess they'll be making it again from scratch. That's why it's gonna take so long to get back. I don't know. I have no idea how they're doing it. But yeah. Achievements. I don't necessarily think they should have achievements within Classic, but I do think they should have a system where you can earn progress towards achievement through your Classic account. Like, so, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. I think that they should have it so if you're already paying for a regular WoW sub, you should just be able to go straight into to classic. It shouldn't be a separate sub. That would kill it like right away. Because I don't think there's gonna be that many people who want to play the vanilla only. Like I think most of the player base, if they do it properly, of course, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be people who are already playing the main game, but want to dip in and out of classic. That's at least how I'm gonna play it. And from the people I've talked to, that seems to generally be how they want to do it as well. So it would be complete suicide of those if they made it a separate sub. But I think they should have your accounts connected in a way that you can earn progress towards achievements like honor kills and such. You shouldn't necessarily have the achievement system itself in Classic. I'm not sure that would work out too well. So just have so you can earn progress. Yeah, I have a list over here of talking points I prepared because I can't remember things very well otherwise. Transmogs. I think you should be able to earn transmogs. Not use the transmog system in Classic. I still think it should be as it's always been. Like, you just see the gear people have on. But you should be... Because there is a lot of, world bosses that have been taken out. There's dungeons that have been revamped with new gear and new bosses, where they've just removed that other gear completely. Which means you can't earn it in the main game anymore. Which I think would be that would be a really cool incentive to make for people. Like, hey, you can earn these things for transmog if you go and play on the classic servers. So maybe if you really want that classic corrupted Ashbringer, well, if you can go on the classic server and you can actually get into a good raid group that is doing Nax, well, maybe you can get that for transmog. And I think it's completely fair, because since it's classic and it's gonna be the base regular classic version of the game, you will still have to put in the same amount of work that you would have had to back then. The only factor that's going to be different is that you're gonna have it slightly easier, because there's gonna be easy to follow guides and people know the game better. But that's it. Other than that, you still have to put the same amount of work into what you're actually doing in order to earn these things. So I think it would be completely fair to be able to earn these things that way. Same with achievements. Like, if you go and get the Insane title through Classic, actually, I think there should be a separate feat of strength for getting it the Classic way, because they removed two reputations they removed, so you wouldn't have to do those in order to get it. That's how I got it, because, well, I started Oh yeah, I never mentioned that earlier. I only started playing the game properly back in late Wrath. That's when I really got into the game, because my basic problem was I didn't have really my own money, and my mom refused to pay for it for me. So I was kind of shit out of luck. Okay, but where did I come from? Transmogs and achievements, yeah. Link those. And yeah, I think that's it for that bit. Okay. What the fuck? Oh. I think my headphones are dying. I think my headphones might have just died. And just a second. Okay, I don't know if they died or what they did, but should be fine now. Um, I'm not going to be cutting this out because I have no idea how to use any editing software just yet. So please bear with me. But yeah, release of content. We're actually gonna get back to the fact about people being better at playing the game now, having more knowledge. So I think they should make a schedule and not release all the content at once. Well, Battlegrounds, Battlegrounds they can release from the beginning of the game. I think that's fine. Releasing Battlegrounds right away. That would still work. Because it's not like there's progression through the battlegrounds, so just have all the battlegrounds at the beginning. I don't think anyone would be against that. But other than that, like raids and dungeons, like do a similar schedule to how they did it back then. Due to some gear in some dungeons that was only added later being really overpowered. Like, I've heard about some stuff from Dire Maul was, like, actually better for a lot of classes than stuff you would get in Molten Core. Which would just... yeah, that would just kind of fuck up the progression through it. So they should do some sort of release schedule like that. I don't know if then when Nax is out, if they should maybe then run it into that. Oh, but so now we're gonna release like a TBC server, and you could transfer over into that. Like you could take your character and have it transferred over to the TBC server. And then everything in there is TBC, and you just start from level 60 with your character you moved over. I don't know if they're gonna do that, and maybe go on and basically just have a completely new cycle of the game. I'm not sure if that would work out, but we'll see when the time comes. But yeah, I think they should, or else it's just gonna be stopped very, very quickly, and people are gonna get bored. If they have everything right out the gate. Oh, actually, probably not, because you still do need a fair amount of gear in order to go on to the next tier of rating. I guess it's one of the things we'll just have to see when it comes. But I personally think they should that they should stagger the content and not release all of it at once. Okay, graphics. I do think that we should have access to the new character models. I think that's I do think that that's a thing that should happen. Because I mean, if you don't want them, you can just turn them off. Like it's a choice. It doesn't matter if because it. All it's gonna do is it's gonna bring more of the newer people into it and keep it alive. Like, to show Blizzard that people do want to play it, like, you need to have some of these things. And I think having the new character models would help with that. I mean, if you want to go for the full classic experience and also have the old kind of janky character models, you can totally do that. Like, you can just turn off the new models, and that's it. Like you can do in the current game. So I can't really see anyone complaining about that. General graphics options, I'm not sure. Like, I kind of feel like it's part of the experience that it looks how it does. But I can also see a lot of people wanting to have, like, updated textures and such. But again, it would just be another case of, well, they just put in a toggle having old or the new graphics. I don't see how that would be too difficult for them to do. Balancing specs. Now, this one has been up for a lot of controversy because a lot of people are saying that they want them to rebalance the specs so more specs and classes will actually be viable for raiding. And I am not sure if they should do that because I fear in the end they might just fuck it up in other ways instead and we would just be back to square one. I don't think that they should do that. They should keep them as they are. Once again, if some classes have some kind of game-breaking bugs, of course fix those. But don't do too much like rebalancing and stuff. Cause again, it feels like it's part of it. That some of it is gonna be a bit janky. So I think they should keep that as it was. A lot of people have also been talking about Dungeon Finder, and I don't think they should put it in. No, it's just it doesn't feel right to have it in vanilla. It would just seem odd to have a thing like that in vanilla. Just no. The only thing they should do is have. I think they should have the meeting stones and be able to summon via those. I heard you weren't able to actually summon through the meeting stones. You were able to do some other things with them. But I think you should be able to summon with the meeting stones, or else it's just gonna be too much. I don't necessarily want to say too much of a hassle, but I think some quality of life things would make sense, like having it be able to teleport with the meeting stones. Spell rank sorting. So, I don't know if that was actually ever a thing you could do, but I feel like your spellbook gets a bit too cluttered. Like, I already have like 2 ranks of Holy Light here. I feel like they should put it, and once again, it's just a little quality of life thing. It's not a big game-breaking thing or anything. Like, just put in a toggle where you can have, like, I only want to see the highest ranks of my spells. Like, you can just toggle that on or off. Like, I feel like that would make it a little bit better. I don't know. Actually, it's been taking me forever to make this video because I wasn't sure which points I should mention or not, and maybe I would find something out during this playthrough on this classic server I am on at the moment. And I didn't. And this was one of the things I just randomly thought about. I don't know if it's relevant at all, but who cares? And the last thing, training abilities. So I don't actually remember why I put that in. Oh yeah, another thing I also want to mention in terms of achievements, like I think you should still be able to earn feats of strength like Knuckle Sandwich and such and things like that, because once again, you would still have earned them the same way as back then. It's just now on the classic servers, because you can't earn them in the main game anymore. I think those should be there. But those are all the points I could think of for now. If you have anything, if you want to tell me that I'm a complete dumbass, that I don't know what I'm talking about, say that in the comments. Or if you agree with me on anything, also say that in the comments. Please keep the comments nice and civil and not shouty. I would very much prefer that we don't do that. Like, keep it nice and clean down there, okay guys? Like, that would be greatly appreciated. So, well, if anyone are actually watching still after me rambling on for almost 20 minutes, I greatly appreciate that you actually watched me, and I hope we can get a good discussion going. And Well, oh, I actually streamed this apparently. Well, doesn't matter. I'll just put the stream on my YouTube instead. Yeah, I still don't really have all the control or yeah, fuck it. But yeah, I appreciate it if you watched me all this way through, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.